everyone. Today is World Social Justice Day. If you haven't heard about World Social Justice Day until now, it's a day that is set aside to focus on inclusive economic growth and decent work for all people. My name is Daphne, and I'm the Global Impact Director at One Day's Wages. Our goal at One Day's Wages is to alleviate extreme poverty through locally led partnerships. And we recognize that some people are especially vulnerable to extreme poverty, like indigenous peoples, ethnic and racial minorities, women, people living with disabilities, which is why one of our priority areas is social inclusion. There's lots of research demonstrating that including disadvantaged people in social, educational, and economic opportunities benefits the entire society, contributes to wealth and well-being for entire nations. But even beyond that incentive, we passionately believe that all people have inherent dignity and have the capacity to contribute to society. So today I'm honored to be here with Richard Ntakirutimana. Richard is the founder and executive director of AIMPO, which is a nonprofit organization in Rwanda founded by and for Batwa people. One Day's Wages is partnering with AIMPO right now to launch a new ceramic water filter cooperative that provides clean drinking water and also meaningful employment. I've learned so much from Richard about the indigenous Batwa community, and I'm really thrilled that today you all have a chance to learn from him as well. So thank you, Richard, for being here. Richard, could you share with us a little bit about the history of the Batwa people, what land you call home, and why you were displaced from that land?
Thank you very much, Daphne. I'm Richard Ntakirutimana, and I'm a Mutwa, one of the indigenous Batwa people who lived in the forest of Great Lakes region for millennium. I grew up hunting and collecting honey in what is now the Volcano National Park. The Batwa third smallest ethnic group in Rwanda, alongside the Hutu and Tutsi. They are believed to be the original inhabitants of the Great Lakes of Central Africa, and the equatorial forest were their homeland, providing them with substances, medicine, and food. When we come to the issue of the why the Batwa were displaced from their land, our land is the forest. Like I said in my introduction, I grew up hunting, collecting honey in our forest. I call it our forest because I was born there. My grandparents was born there. My great grandparents was born there. It was the original homeland for the entire Batwa communities who are found in Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, and Congo. So the initiative of displacing them or evicting them from their homeland, there are many factors. There are many factors, the deforestation factors, the conflict factors, but the main point here is what we call the conservation initiative. The conservation initiative, it has contributed a lot. It has contributed a lot. The Western conservationists, when they bring this idea of conservation, in the name of development, eh, to save the endangered species such as gorilla. I can say in Rwanda here, for example, the narrative reached its peak with Danifos, who is still today glorified despite it documenting the evidence of her violence against the Batwa. The international community, the world today, they glorified him, they appreciated him as a hero, but they are not documenting what crimes she has been committing against the Batwa. Because she has failed to differentiate between what is the nature and the people.
Yeah.
Because the people, they are part of the nature.
Yeah.
And what she has done against the Batwa's culture, calling them poachers. And the truth in that, the Batwa lived alongside the gorillas for thousands of generations. We have wrong with them and thousands other, we have wrong with gorillas and other species that lived in the forest. Co-created ecosystem that nature has all as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So that initiative of conservation in the name of development, in the name of the protecting the species, like the species, has been contributed a lot to what the situation of the Batwa live today. And when we talk about social justices, what do we mean? We mean the air where everyone deserves the equal economic, political, and social rights, equal opportunities for everyone, regardless of identity, regardless of the race, regardless what any background. So I think the Batwa are the one of the communities in this world that has been facing social exclusion and social injustices.
Yeah. And you shared with me before that now most Batwa communities live on land that was designated by the government as a place to live, instead of in the forest that you called home for so many generations. I'm curious, what are some of the specific ways that you've seen or experienced Batwa communities not being included in economic or social opportunities?
I think the Batwa are often excluded from social and economic opportunities due to systematic discrimination, including limited access to education, healthcare, employment, land rights, and political presentation. Often stemming from historical colonization and ongoing prejudice, leading to higher rates of poverty, unemployment, and inadequate housing in our communities.
Yeah.
When I just talk about the lack of education, I mean there is inadequate access to quality education for the Batwa. So I can give you example today. We are only 30 graduate students out of 36,000. When I talk the out of 36,000 Batwa population, and we are only 36 graduate students
Wow.
from the Batwa.
Yeah. Yeah, that says a lot.
Yes.
Mm.
And you can understand how there is a limitation of the Batwa to access education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. So when we go, when I go, I talk about the discriminatory employment practices, the systematic bias in hiring people,
Mm.
a lot of nepotism, a lot of corruption, you know, that is behind in hiring, having access to job.
Yeah.
And also there's social and social exclusion. You can ask me a question: how they know Richard is a Mutwa? People, of course, they know because the Batwa they live in separately to other communities,
Mm. Yeah.
and their connection is limited, you know, to employ to those companies, to the government, institutions. So it's not easy to reach out to
Mm-hmm.
jobs. So there's also limited political presentations. When I talk about the political representations, there is a lack of political power,
Mm.
representation in decision bodies, which means the Batwa, communities may not have a voice in policies, in policy designing and politics. So, so in that case, it's not easy for Batwa to have economic opportunities, and also, of course, the cultural marginalization. Batwa's culture has been undermined and ignored by the government. Our culture was part of the forest, is connected to the land, and today the Batwa have no access to land. Right? We don't have there's no access to land. Yes. So which means it's not easy for the Batwa to practice their culture without land because we are indigenous. And wherever you go, indigenous are connected spiritually to their land.
Mm-hmm.
So what's now affecting the Batwa? We are in a dominant group, dominant society that does not listen our concern, our challenge, that does not want to welcome us, to understand our issues. So in that case, I can say that there is a forced assimilation, which I can call like, maybe I can use a big language, but you know what the first assimilation is. You are forced to live somewhere. You are forced to adapt other cultures,
Mm-hmm.
other norms which you don't belong to.
Yeah.
Yes. So when talk about the limited access to capital, the Batwa don't have the capital to make them to start their own businesses, their own initiatives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
So you've mentioned like the need for quality education. You've mentioned hiring practices that discriminate against Batwa people, um, lack of political involvement to help set policies. So I'm curious, what efforts do you think are needed to make sure that Batwa communities can fully participate in society?
Uh, I think maybe the most important to make Batwa fully participate in the society, there is can call recognizing their culture practice, their culture norms. It's
Yeah.
very, very important
Mm-hmm.
because without identity, without culture, I don't think that any community, any member of the society, eh, has the root the root, where you come from, what you are, even the state itself has the law that is governing, So culture is big for any person, for any individuals. Culture has a big plays a big role in development. In whatever we do, we are guided by our culture, by our beliefs. Yes, if you are Christian, of course, you are guided by you are guided by Bible. You believe in God.
Mhm.
Yes, if you are Muslim, you believe in Muhammad.
Mhm.
So, if for Mutwa, we believe in something, yes, our culture, you know, our culture is like, I can call it as a placenta of, you know, yeah, as a placenta. So another thing is like supporting Batwa initiative, supporting Batwa initiatives. I can say, like, I can call maybe international communities, donors, organizations to understand the situation of the Batwa.
Mhm.
If you want the marginalized communities to fully participate in the society, you have to support their initiatives. We have seen that today Trump has suspended the USAID,
Yeah.
but we cannot ignore the role of USAID in supporting marginalized communities. Yes,
Mm.
yes. So supporting the backwards initiatives, helping them to have access to education, quality education, helping them to have housing, health care is very, very crucial for the backward to participate in the society. And also, to sum up, I also affirmative action. I call upon to the government, Rwanda, to the government of any state that is having marginalized communities like Batwa, having affirmative action for them is very, very important.
Mm.
Because affirmative action, you cannot treat a Mutwa and other people who have reached far.
Yeah.
So that kind of substantive, equality is it's important for the Batwa to address their challenges.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially like, yes, poverty and other challenges of discrimination and have those limitations, limitation of that is hinders them to reach services like health and so on.
Mm.
And also, I can say facilitating them their presentation in decision making bodies. It's very important. We have seen how the empowerment of women, mm, the empowerment of women now. Women have been empowered. They are now in political bodies. They are taking decision because the international community has put much effort.
Mm.
You know, has put much effort. You have seen now the movement of how the disability movement it has been helped the persons with disabilities, to come out. You know, they are now represented. There is a lot of the conventions. There is a lot of policies protecting the rights of persons with disabilities.
Mm.
I would love to see many states, for example, signing the convention or declaration of the indigenous people, the rights of indigenous people, the UN Convention of Indigenous People. Yes. So that is the it's like involving them, recognizing their concerns, their problems.
Yeah.
It can
And
help
you're
the Batwa to.
yeah.
Mm.
AIMPO's work with pottery and now with the ceramic water filters, I think is such a perfect example of the types of initiatives you're talking about because like you began with saying that initiatives that really celebrate Batwa culture are needed, and the ceramics that you've shared with me before are a traditional form of art and income generation for many Batwa communities. So really celebrating the role of ceramics and like leveraging that skill and knowledge that people already have, I think is such a beautiful thing. And then it also gives the broader community an opportunity to support a Batwa owned and led initiative by selling the pottery. Um, and then also, I know you're working on building financial literacy and business management skills that really help encourage that kind of decision making, active participation. So, anyway, I think that what you're doing with the pottery center as well as the ceramic water filters are such a wonderful example of what you've just described. Um, how have you seen that? I'm just curious, like how have you personally seen how social inclusion benefits not just Batwa people, but also the broader society?
Uh, Thank you very much. I think that's a good question to me. Like I said, that when talk about an inclusive society is where everybody is equal
Mm,
and have opportunities to make a decision and able to participate in a society, regardless of race, gender, sexuality, age, and yeah. So inclusion is crucial aspect of the society, you know, because the individual and the society, of course, as a whole, and it creates a sense of belonging, a sense of belonging. You know, when you belong in a society, it's a value. You feel that you are valuable to others.
mm,
You feel that you have a collective responsibility. You know, to respect a human being, to respect a mankind, to respect, you know, that sense of belonging in a society. That's where, without belonging to the society, you cannot think, you cannot create, you cannot be a create, you cannot be a creative, you know. Because I can give you example. When I was at the University of Pretoria, I was feeling that I was a part of my classmates. I was participating because I was happy. I was, you know, I was in the community that does not discriminating.
mm,
I was in the community that giving me a voice to express myself, you know, to give ideas to others, respecting my idea, my thoughts. I expect, you know, feeling that I have a duty to contribute to, you know, yeah. So also the inclusion also benefits the when you the inclusion also, it's not only a sense of belonging, it doesn't only create a sense of belonging, but also it promotes diversity and tolerance. Without inclusion, there is a conflict,
mm.
there is a war. With inclusion, there is a peace.
Yeah,
Yes, you know,
very good
because
point.
people, they are feeling that they are part of the society. When you are part of the society, you feel that You have a debt to do. You have to do something to others. Yes, yes. You feel that you can do something to help others, to help your society, your community, because you are included. You are in, not out. When the problem comes, you feel that I have to do something. I have to find a solution. That's why when a pandemic comes like COVID, there are people who feel that they have a duty to find a solution. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why inclusion, to my understanding, my point of view, I find inclusion, it has a lot of benefit to entire communities, because when you are part of the society, there's a sense of belonging, promotes diversity and tolerance. Because yourself, you feel that you can't be a burden to others, Yeah. Because you are happy, you became happy with yourself. Yes. Yeah. Because you feel that you are mango. That is Ubuntu. This philosophy of Ubuntu. Yeah. I am because of, yes.
Yep. Yeah. Our well-being is connected to each other.
Yes, we are connected to each other. Yes. Yeah. We are like a cycle. Yeah. Yes. So when I feel pain, when you are not happy, I feel, I'm not also happy. I'm not also happy. Yes. Yeah. 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 That's why in an equal society, you find where there is a gap of rich people, wealthy people, and poor people. Always the poor people, the kids on the street, they will steal from wealthy people because of that, that gap. Yeah. But when everyone has opportunity to participate, to economic opportunities, that's when the peace comes. Yeah.
Well, to end, what advice do you have for others? Maybe like one or two pieces of advice for how we can create societies that that celebrate diversity and that do include all people.
There is a lot of, like I said, that respect. Yeah. Respect. Yeah. Thank you. Don't cause problem to your neighbor. Yeah. Yes.
Very basic.
Don't cause problem to your, yes. Yeah. Yes. Be a solution, not a trouble. Yes. Because at the end of the day, we will die. And we will leave everything here. So there is no need to have conflicts. Yes. Let us be positive in whatever we plan, in whatever we say. Let's be positive to our friends, to our neighbors, to our country, to our children, yes. Because we are created by only God. Yeah. Thank you very much.
We all share that. Yeah. Well, Richard, thank you so much for taking the time to share your wisdom and your experiences and your expertise with us, with our One Day's Wages community. And I hope it's a very meaningful World Social Justice Day for you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome.